All right, you know what time it is. Boston has officially entered the chat. Travis Thomas here with my main man, George Balekji. George, you know we start every show with get this off of my chest. It's usually a rant about something, but we both have to start at the same time with last night's roast of Tom Brady. It was brutal. Look, GB, you know this about me. Where I grew up, roasting was not cool. It usually led to a fist fight or worse. So I've never participated in one of these. This was actually my first roast watching. I don't even.
Hold on. You're older than me. You grew up during the golden age of Comedy Central roasts.
Never watched. Never. Because that's why I told the story, the origin story for me. Roasting is uncomfortable for me because
I've catch these hands.
I've seen bad things happen. Okay?
Yeah.
Worse than fighting sometimes. So I just never got into them, George. I'm just like, I'm not interested in that. So this Brady one was actually my first experience watching a full one. And my God, just for the record, in our friendship, I will never, don't even invite me to your roast. I ain't coming. I'm not presenting. I'm not telling jokes. I won't even be in attendance, George. I can't take it. It was too uncomfortable. It was too much for me, George. Too much.
Bro, I'm short, Armenian, hairy, loud, angry. That's easy right there for you. I loved it. I hated it was 3 hours long.
It was so long.
Cut back on some of the guests. But I would like to say a couple people that were great. Nikki Glazer dropping that crypto joke, $30 million to crypto, and then making Gronk sound like a caveman. I mean, that's a low-hanging fruit for me.
That's your thing.
But that gets me to laugh. But Tom Brady, you wait 3 hours. To me, it paid off. He had dark humor. He went up there mentioning how difficult it was for him not to get drunk off tequila.
He was wasted.
But the more he went, you realize, I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, Brady's absolutely annihilated.
He was hammered.
Unhinged, and just went off on everyone from Gronk to Edelman, to Belichick. The Belichick ones were the best, I think. But I did love the one at Rob Gronkowski. You're the greatest Patriots tight end of all time. The bar was low. Block, catch, don't murder. For something Tom Brady was there for. I like dark humor. I'm sorry, guys. I love dark humor, actually. And for him to sign off for me, too. Double birds to everyone in the crowd. FEA, F them all, his favorite saying. And also saying F Eli, F you twice to the New York Giants fans, which is like, that gives me closure. Growing up a Patriots fan, thank you, Tom Brady, for the closure of telling all of New York and Eli Manning to go F themselves.
Hey, you mentioned Belichick. Everyone was waiting for the heavyweight matchup, Brady against Belichick. It did not disappoint.
Think about who's responsible for the Patriots' success during the time when Tom and I were there. Was it Brady? Was it me? Was it Brady? Was it me? In reality, the truth of the matter is, it was both of us because of me.
I've been out of the game for a minute, so I'm curious. How many Super Bowl rings have you won since I left? Maybe it's not just the guy on the sideline. When I go to the Indy 500, I don't ask the winning driver, hey, who gassed up your car?
Just brutal stuff, GB.
But also him going at Belichick, and he said, my favorite ring is the camera that caught you slinking out of that poor girl's apartment a few months ago.
Yeah.
Down to Winthrop.
That was tough.
Secrets aren't kept. I mean, he just went at everyone. And at certain points, too, the jokes he was making, the jokes Peyton Manning was making, of course, the guest surprise roaster. Belichick standing up, giving a round of applause. He let his hair down. And I love it. And he went at everyone, crapping on Tom Brady's soccer team, saying they suck. The one joke about him and Brady butting heads, but said, really, Brady, we didn't butt heads because your head was so far up Alex Guerrero's ass.
That was great.
Alex Guerrero catching stray bullet after stray bullet. That man should have taken his invite, ripped it up, and known to stay home because you're walking out of there feeling like Drake right now. It's not good time to be Alex Guerrero.
Hey, listen, Belichick had some zingers on Tom, but for the most part, I thought he took it pretty easy on him. He roasted the you-know-what out of everyone else. I mean, Bill going at Edelman, going at Robert Kraft for the dynasty. I mean, listen, I thought Bill did a great job roasting everyone else. Here are some notes I took. I like the Ron Burgundy. angle being involved. I thought that was cool. Bill Belichick saying that's the only person in the media I respect is Ron Burgundy. That was fantastic. How about this? We got to talk about this. Brady checking Jeffrey Ross, was it? In the beginning when he made the Robert Kraft massage joke?
I mean, what a moment of the night. He just simply goes, greatest decision you ever made in franchise history. People laughing. He goes, do you want a massage? And you see Brady kind of turn. Got up. And he got up right in his ear. He's like, don't say that again. Don't.
Okay.
Like, serious.
Here's what I don't get.
Will Smith, Chris Rock moment.
Yeah,
man.
but here's what I don't get. So a joke about Robert Kraft drove you to that, but all these other jokes getting at you, talking about Giselle and the karate guy and all this stuff, you laugh at that, but a joke about Robert Kraft, you're ready to Will Smith somebody?
Yeah,
that was
I guess
weird
it's
to
like
me.
fair game. Don't make jokes about the cuddly little old billionaire.
I don't know,
dude,
bro.
Everything's off guard in that, but that's a great part.
That was weird to me.
Went up
to
to
Ross,
and you could tell he was dead serious because even Ross joked like, "All right, got you." Like, hey, you gave me the warning.
No, he was smart to do that. And then Julian Edelman, I thought, stole the night. He was just fantastic. His entire bit was fantastic. And then the last one, last note I took was ending on a feel good. Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick taking a shot together. I thought that was really cool, George.
Yeah, Robert Kraft, man. Finding a way to get into it and be in the limelight and be hip and be cool.
He wasn't very good. His front wasn't great either.
Taking a shot. Yeah, it was like a minute roast. What was funny was Belichick went at everybody.
Yeah.
Mentioned who had more success, me or Brady.
Right.
He didn't mention Kraft once. And he even said this is a Tom Brady roast, not to be confused with that 10-part documentary roast that was on Bill Belichick himself. But then Kevin Hart got to take a shot. So, yeah. That shot part for me, I'm just over Robert Kraft, man. Owners in the limelight, you're rich enough. It's just on that.
Well, also, why are you there if no one can make jokes, right?
Fair.
Don't even show up.
Fair.
And Tom, just tell everyone leave Kraft out of it. Everything else. It was, I don't know. That part was a little strange, but it was cool to see them all not really breaking bread, but literally cheersing and taking drinks together.
And shout out to the one person. She had both of us getting like locked in going, oh, where's she going?
Yeah.
Sam J, the comedian, raised in Dorchester.
Oh, yeah.
She compared Drew Bledsoe's ring to a strap-on. Said Brady was too black for Boston. Compared him saying, illegal PPP loans. Dude, just like she crossed the line. But
she went in.
She did it tastefully. I thought she was the best one of the night. Out of all the comedians, I like Sam J the most. Out of the celebs, Gronk was good, started going, then went off prompter.
Bro,
and of course,
hate Gronk, bro.
No, I don't hate him.
Yes, you do.
I don't hate him.
Yeah,
maybe.
You do.
All right, maybe.
I
don't. I'm just like tired of the shtick of smashing stuff. And of course, Gronk spiked something. So.
What did he spike? A shot glass?
Yeah.
Bro,
and it's just like,
exactly. You can take an eye out.
What did we discuss?
What did
we discuss?
I know.
He goes on stage, drinks something.
Right.
Shot glass spike. I thought it was beer glass, but it was shot glass. So.
Bro, I was going to play a drinking game for how many times I got a Gronk, and you did it right off the top.
Well, just once at least. You're leaving sober for this one.
Also, you saying tasteful for anyone in that roast last night.
Dude, I'm going to check her on Netflix now, her special. I thought she was hilarious, Sam J.
I thought the whole thing was good. Look, for my first roast, I won't be back, though. I'm not going to tell you a lie. Like, I'm going back, George, to not watching these. It was too long. To be honest, I didn't need all the other people. I mean, it's cool you're giving props to some of these comedians. I would have been cool with just the teammates. I mean, Edelman was great. Moss was great. Oh, I would have just taken all the teammates, Gronk, all of them. Robert Kraft's 1 minute too, fine. And Belichick, and been good with that, George.
Yeah.
And we would have saved time. That would have been an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, we watched this last night for 3 hours.
Less people, honestly, more Bill Belichick. His writers did a great job. Goes in on Rob Gronkowski. I know my sayings, do your job. I saw a Fox NFL Sunday, do something else.
That was hilarious.
And then made a Tide Pods joke. I mean, it was just like perfect. It was stupid. It was very Gronk. Coming from Belichick, he had the time of his life, you could tell. So, yeah, I'm with you. Cut down on the people.
Cut down.
If you kept it 3 hours, but it was more Belichick, more Brady, more Edelman, more Nikki Glazer, more Sam J, I'm for that.
Hey, case in point, could we have done without Kim Kardashian? The answer is yes.
Quick moment. For all Armenians, that was wrong. To have Kim Kardashian represent us and not Berge Najarian, who knows so much more dirt on Brady and Belichick than anyone else on the face of the planet.
George, I love you, man. Never change.
Told you I'm a short Armenian that's loud.
All right, George, let's skate to the ice now. Now, before we get into tonight's game, let's reflect on Game 7, Bruins, Maple Leafs, overtime, all-timer. The Pasta Man comes up big, baby.
I know you were happy about that.
Yes.
We talked about legacy games, a great finish from him, but it was, once again, you stick with the guy that brought you there. You dance with who brought you there, and Jeremy Swayman.
Respect.
Just nails again. 30 saves on 31 shots faced. The only goal that he allowed was an awful turnover in the Bruins defensive zone by Carlo, but Bertuzzi making a hell of a play. And then it was Austin Matthews to William Nylander. That's 99 combined playoff games, just making one hell of a pass, one hell of a finish. Go catch him on his short side post.
Yep.
Swayman's got to stick with Austin Matthews there. Nylander, what are you going to do? Wide open goal, finishes at home. And then just not that much long later, Bruins again, same thing, cashing it on a scramble. But this was a classic, but it coming down with the pressure of blowing a second straight 3-1 lead for the Bruins or for the Maple Leafs to come back from down 3-1 with the team that is, are you going to blow it all up? What are you going to do with the coaches? What are you going to do with the star power? And now, of course, an original six rivalry. I mean, that was an instant classic. And I know all of Boston, like myself, now at that point, late Saturday night, a huge exhale. It didn't happen. They got past it. The Bruins didn't let it happen twice. But also at the same time, they fended it off, and they cashed in on superb goaltending play. I mean, shout out to Jeremy Swayman, and even handled the silver platter of Ilya Samsonov stepping in with Joseph Wall going down. Samsonov played his ass off, too.
He did. I thought we were going to get a higher scoring game in Game 7. What's funny is early in this series, we saw a 5-1 Bruins win. We saw a 4-2 Bruins win. But look, the last 3 games of this series, really the last 4, 3-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I mean, these were just cut your lights off, shut the water off, rock fight, absolute slobber knockers. And so I thought in Game 7, maybe, especially with Austin Matthews being back in the lineup, I thought we would see some goals scored there. But no, that was not the case. This series was just knockdown, drag out, all series long. You got to give credit. If I'm a Maple Leafs fan, I'm just going nuts. I don't know what else to do. I mean, obviously, we know their history of choking in the playoffs. But here you get in this series, George. You keep it defensive. You play the Bruins style. You beat the Bruins at their own style for some of these games. You force a Game 7, and you still can't win. I mean, what the hell else can you do if you're the Maple Leafs?
Well, it's even the defense kind of just letting it happen at the end of Game 6 led to that Wall injury.
Right.
And a bit him in the ass. But what the Bruins got with that game-tying goal first, what they got from Hampus Lindholm, and shout out to him. I mean, last time we were on this, we called out the Hampus Lindholms, the Charlie McAvoys, the David Pasternaks.
Yes.
Lindholm finished with plenty of shots on that. Obviously, Pasta had the game winner. But it was the Bruins just staying persistent. And I thought when that goal got through and the Leafs took that late lead, because it was so tight and Swayman was playing so well.
He really was.
But it was an awful turnover, and you felt like that's what the game would come down to. Come down to the other end. I mean, JVR with the centering pass, Brazeau rebound with the unlucky bounce, gets behind it, but then it falls to Lindholm, and he's just thinking, I got to put a puck on net here.
That's right.
Something's going to happen. And it went off Samsonov's arm. It was an ugly hockey game in the most beautiful way possible.
Yes.
Because of how you said how stingy both teams were playing. And then the finish.
Yeah.
It goes to overtime. You're just edge of your seat all the way
at
through.
Home. Oh.
At home. And it shows for everyone that said the last place the Bruins want to play Game 7 is at home.
Yeah.
That's the only place David Pastrnak wants to play it, because you saw him get the puck, basically give it to Lindholm. As he's turning, about to leave the neutral zone, they lock eyes, and they knew what they were going to do. And it was David Pastrnak finally getting an inch from this Leafs forecheck and really just all the guys on their team. Every time he was up the boards, they were hitting the hell out of him. But there was a shift change, someone coming on the ice, lost track of Pasta, Lindholm fed it in deep.
Yep.
Played it perfect.
He did.
Off the corner board, right into it. Just deked Samsonov, backhanded it in. And for as much as we love watching howitzers from Pasta's stick, it was great to see him backhand one in and let that finish.
With a little whoop, whoop, whoop on you.
Filthy.
Look, I talked about this to start the show here. You know, it doesn't even matter the sport. All great players are judged on playoff success. How do you do in the moments? How do you do when all the chips are on the table? David Pastrnak is an all-time great hockey player. Forget all-time great Bruin, an all-time great hockey player totality.
Yeah.
You got to have these moments. Kudos to him. Kudos to Jim Montgomery for calling him out. before Game 7 to light that fire.
Yeah.
You hate that you had to light the fire, but clearly it worked.
Yeah.
Pasta stepped up. Another feather in the cap of an all-time moment for a great player.
Yeah, 4 shots on goal from Pasta, 4 from DeBrusque, 6 from Lindholm. Samsonov faced 31 shots.
Yes.
Finally, you see them make the goalie work, and it paid off. And I like you bring up Jim Montgomery called him out after Game 6. We were live on this podcast when that came through. I had to double-check Twitter to make sure it was right, but he said Pasta has to wake up. And credit to David Pastrnak, live interview on ESPN right before Game 7 on ABC, the networks had it. He was asked about that, and he said he was right. Then after the game, Pasta quote saying, Jimmy, he had to say that stuff he did after Game 6. I told him if I were the coach, I would have said the same thing. So I have no problem with him saying that. He's just trying to bring the best out of every single player. A, I love that David Pastrnak calls Jim Montgomery Jimmy. B, for everything that this locker room was criticized on, that they couldn't take hard coaching, your best player stood up and said, call me out in front of everyone. I don't care. You're right. I'll wear it on my chin, and I'll go out and play, and he produced it. So Swayman said how incredible of a leader Montgomery is. He said every word counts with him. And Montgomery after said he was just proud of them and said they're a better team because of what they went through. You just saw that all come together. And for Jim Montgomery, you saw how still he was in that moment for Game 7. And credit to him, he was coaching for his job most likely. A second straight blown 3-1 lead potentially. Last season, the historic run, 135 points, to blowing it with Bergeron and Krejci.
Sure.
But you come back with the influx of young talent, and you still score 109 points in the regular season.
Yeah.
And it would have been a second straight first round blown 3-1 lead. Montgomery knew the pressure he was in. It's an original 6 franchise.
Yep.
The expectations in Boston are different. And he stepped up to it. David Pastrnak stepped up to it. Hampus Lindholm stepped up to it. And Jeremy Swayman kept playing his hockey. You have to end, to me, every takeaway of this game with Jeremy Swayman and what he did for 6 games.
No doubt. All right, so now turn the page. Congratulations. You get out of the first round. Now you get the monster Florida Panthers. Look, I want to do away with this revenge narrative. Now, we in the media, here's why. We in the media, of course, we're going to run with it. Yeah. Of course, the fans are going to.
Don't take that away from me.
No, we should have it.
Cool.
So should the fans.
Yeah.
The players cannot think this way. Here's why. This is a different Bruins team. Screw revenge. You're not even the same team you were last year. And also, I said this coming into this season, and I have to double down now that we're here. I thought this style in which the Bruins were going to play this year, defensive, relying on 2 great goalies, was more conducive to a longer playoff run than last year's team, which was a fireworks show. You had scores all over the ice. It was exciting. You were breaking records left and right in the regular season. I get it. But when you got to the playoffs, you got hit in the mouth by the Panthers. That's why I say the players cannot be thinking of this as revenge. You just can't do it. You're a different team. You're tougher. You play better defense than that team last year. I think this team has a better shot against the Panthers. Now, the issue, as I say, this is not the same Panthers or the same Bruins from last year. This is not the same Panthers from last year either. Mm-hmm. That team underachieved last year, got hot at the right time. Sorry, Bruins, right? And then we saw them go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. This Panthers team was not messing around all year long. They meant
defense
business.
In the NHL, man.
Bro, they meant business wire to wire. Defense, offense, toughness, coaching. Check, 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 check. Home ice.
And they weren't
have it all.
And they weren't healthy to start the season.
That's right. Got healthy. And, bro, look, we've watched a lot of hockey all year. And I've said this. This is the most complete hockey team, the Florida Panthers I'm talking about, that I've seen all year long. And I'm talking about monsters out west. I'm talking about the New York Rangers out east. These are major teams, we're saying. The Florida Panthers, for what I saw with eyes all year, this is the most complete hockey team, and here we are. My gut says this is not going to end well for the Bruins. Now, you have a hot goalie in Swayman, and we could talk about how do you balance those two.
Scorching hot and
Sway. Ultimate confidence right now.
Yeah.
Defense playing well. Mm-hmm. Pasta looks like he's got some momentum. You have got to play perfect hockey in this series to knock off the Florida Panthers, and then you have to hope they make some mistakes.
The edge I give to the Bruins in this, when I try and think of it, is the style and games they just won and how we saw especially the last 4 games of the first round go down with low scoring.
Right.
That was the second best offense in the NHL.
Yeah.
Now you're going to face the best defense in goals allowed per game in the NHL regular season in the Panthers. Everything. And you know what the Panthers are going to do? Pressure whoever has a puck, even in their own defensive zone or their own offensive zone, depending where it is, right? Yep. Just cause chaos, keep bringing that forecheck, throw their weight around, and have defensemen come up and just pepper the goalie with shots, get in deep, and just score dirty goals.
Yes.
Wait for a rebound, bounce, falls right in front of them, and make it pay off. And you even think about their 2 top lines, Tarasenko, Barkov, Reinert. That second line, Verhaeghe, Lundell, Kachuk.
Oh.
They could get Sam Bennett back. That'll bump Anton Lydell to the third line.
Hell.
Hampus Lindholm, Brandon Carlo, Charlie McAvoy, Mason Lerai. How does Jim Montgomery, again, he has to be on his P's and Q's.
He does.
And Paul Maurice, the head coach of the Panthers, is good. It's just how deep this Panthers team is.
They're tough.
And what they do to have opportunities in high danger area, but also cash them in. They had 10 goals in the first round from a high danger area. So when they dismantled their first round opponent. And all the talk, though, and I keep going, what's Bobrovsky going to be? What's Anthony Stoller? So Bobrovsky, .915 save percentage, 6 shutouts regular season.
Bro.
Stoller's .925 save percentage over 27 games.
They're complete, George.
They don't allow you to get opportunities. Yeah. They beat you down, and they keep the puck in your own zone. So they help those guys out who aren't the best goalies. But if you don't get chances to even shoot on them, they're going to be the best goalies in the world and be victorious.
That's right.
So, but I just come back to there has to be something said, A, about how good Jeremy Swayman played, but B, what the Bruins are able to do against one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the NHL.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, here's the thing. This defense of the Panthers is so good. I just have to imagine they're going to come in and say, we're taking away your strength right away. That's David Pastrnak, right?
They're going to do the same thing the Leafs did.
Right,
be physical,
same thing.
Hit him on the board.
But
he doesn't get into the neutral zone untouched.
They're going to keep him on his ass. But probably even more, they're going to execute even better than the Maple Leafs did. The Maple Leafs did a tremendous job all series long.
That wasn't a defensive team, and look what they did.
That's right. The key here has to be the ancillary pieces, those guys you named. I mean, if we're looking at keys to the series.
It has to be Lindholm again. It has to be DeBrusque.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Charlie Coyle, can I get you to step up? It's got to be someone else stepping up and doing some scoring here, because you're not going to get a ton of opportunities, as you laid out, to even get shots on these guys. Mm-hmm. So whoever's there, you got to make it count. You can't have mistakes. You got to avoid the power play at all costs. Look, you have to steal one of these two, whether it's tonight or game 2. You got to steal one in Florida. We know how good the Bees are at home. I have confidence in the Bees at home. But when you go into their building, George, you got to get one of these. Mm-hmm. You must right away. If it's game 1, great. All of us can exhale a little bit. Takes a little pressure off game 2. But you must get one of these in Florida, or this is going to be a short series. If they go down 0-2 coming back here, this is going to be short. I'm telling you, this Panthers team is no joke. They are better than they were last year, and they went to the damn finals last year. This team could win the finals.
What does concern me is the Bruins were terrible in 5-on-5 scoring opportunities. Power play was clicking, but they never had a lot of power play opportunities.
Yeah.
They literally have a negative goal differential in 5-on-5 play, and they advanced. But it showed what the power play would pull through, 35.3% in that first round. Obviously, what Jeremy Swayman did as well. Sway's goals allowed expected was 19.8. He let up 9 goals the entire first round.
It's crazy.
That's just absurd. But that shows the good looks, the high danger chances.
Yeah.
The high quality shots that the Leafs were getting off, but how good Jeremy Swayman was playing. But can he do that again for 7 games?
Yeah, what do you do
to pull off 4 wins? It comes down to you have to play physical. You can't get bullied. I mean, you're going to end up playing the Panthers game.
I'm saying a goal.
You can't play. You stick with Jeremy Swayman.
No questions asked.
Game 1. Right. Look, Linus was good.
Yeah.
Jeremy Swayman was all time in that first round.
He was.
And I am the one. If you could get Swayman rest mentally, physically, right?
Yeah.
Give it to him.
Not game 1 though.
But he's locked in right now.
Not game 1.
We did not see game 7 end 4-3, 5-4.
That's right.
3-2.
Which I thought it would be. I thought we were headed for a 4-3 with Austin Matthews back in.
I'll go into this. Jeremy Swayman last month and a half of the regular season. 12 games, .905 save percentage, 2.6 goals allowed average. 7 of those starts, 3 or more goals allowed. This postseason in 6 games, .950 save percentage, 1.5 goals allowed, 4 starts with 28-plus saves.
Wow.
There are 11 goalies with 5-plus games played in these playoffs. He's the only one with a sub-2 goals allowed average. That's how good he played. Leads remaining goalies in time on ice because of the overtime games. Save percentage, goals allowed, and he's 10.9 goals saved above expected. I said he was supposed to let up almost 20 goals in that first round.
Right.
He only allowed 9.
Woo.
That's against the second best offense in the regular season.
Right.
There's no way you take him out of net right now. He is clicking. He did it on the road. He did it at home. He did it with 2 days rest, 1 day's rest.
Yes.
He did it after overtime, after regulation. He was nails all the way through.
Yeah.
And think about, he could have only allowed 8 goals because think about that 1 goal the Leafs got. Again, awful turnover in your own zone.
Yep.
And it's Austin Matthews and William Nylander doing what they do. Linus was good in his one start.
He was.
But Swayman is so locked in, there's no way you should go away from him to start the series against the Panthers. You need your best players on the ice.
Yep.
And right now, Jeremy Swayman is the best player on the Boston Bruins.
I completely agree, comma. As I said, these players should not be focused on revenge in this series, right? The one guy I'll give a pass to is Linus Ullmark. Here's why. You know, everyone jumped on him and Jim Montgomery. Yeah. You should have made the switch sooner and went to Swayman
Game
sooner.
5, man.
Fine, hindsight 2020. But no one ever brings up Linus Ullmark was dealing with injury.
Yeah.
With an injury. So I look at this as, hey, if he gets a shot in this series to play, I imagine he will. Revenge should be on his mind. Look, if Sway needs a break or you're just going to pick a game because this is what they've done all year, let's get Ullmark in there, keep him fresh. When he gets in, he's got to play just as lights out as all those numbers you just gave Jeremy Swayman on. Ullmark has to do the same thing. And I would think in his mind, hearing all the blame game from last year, when he gets in, he's going to want to shut these guys down.
Just Jeremy Swayman did it with significant stats that we rely on. The easy ones. Goals allowed, save percentage. When you get into the metrics and dive into it, goals above expected, saves above expected, all that, he shined through.
He did.
Yeah, Linus, it's just so tough with how good Sway's been playing.
Yeah.
But that 12-game sample size, and the reason I use that was the last month and a half of the regular season. And they were switching off every game from that. So that's what he did, switching off. Now he played 6 straight games. Well, excuse me, he started 6.
Sure.
One of those was Linus, but then he started the last 5 straight of the season, right? Of the series, right? So that's where I see it's tough is that what he's doing, the groove he's in, whatever mindset he's in, how locked in. It's tough for me to say Linus should get a run. If Swayman comes out and he's still first-round Sway, stick with him.
Fair.
But if you read the room, you see him and he's starting to waver a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Linus.
He's human, right? Hey, go ahead.
Sorry, quick. Linus still 2.97 goals against, 3-0 against the Panthers in the regular season. Linus Ullmark. So I'm backing you up here. 947 save percentage. Meanwhile, Sway had an 857 save percentage, his lone start against Florida. Linus obviously more rested. He's done it against the Panthers, and he only allowed 3 goals in that first round, given in one start. But he also played his ass off, just like Sway has this whole series. So it wouldn't be the worst because Swayman has that familiarity with Florida, played well against him, and the Bruins are 4-0 against the Panthers this season. 3 of those wins coming to Linus playing phenomenally.
For all the latest on the Celtics, check out Hold My Banner on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow us on all your social media accounts for all of our best content. So let's go there. Celtics, now we know. We were waiting. Game 7, Magic, Cavs. Cavs pretty much did what I feel like we both expected them to do. They were the more experienced team over the Magic. Magic, a great story. Future's bright. But they're young. They're still trying to figure it out. Probably just happy to be there in the playoffs. They get to a Game 7.
You're not going to have a moment for your Magic?
I called it. I mean, look, I even made money. I bet on them. I said this team's going to make the playoffs. I cashed that ticket. And they took the Cavs 7 games. A more experienced Cavaliers team.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. The future's bright. But Game 7 did look like maybe the lights were a little too bright. Maybe the stage a little too big for the young Magic. So here we have the Cavs. Now, you know, I say this, and people can take it as I'm saying the Cavs can't shoot. That's not what I'm saying. But with Kristaps Porzingis out, George, I think the Cavs' best plan of attack They have bigs who are athletic, can run the entire court, can protect the rim. They're athletic guys. I think you have to attack the paint if you're the Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. They also have two guards in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland who can tap dance on you off the dribble and go to the cup. I think this is how the Cavs should attack the Celtics. I know they shoot threes. I know they're a three-point shooting team. Not as good as the Celtics.
No.
But if they play that game, this is over. It could be a sweep. It could be 5 games. Celtics are going to wipe the floor with them. If they attack the rim, because everyone's talking about Kristaps Porzingis and his offensive prowess and what you're losing offensively with him being out. And I get it. But there's also a defensive aspect of this. This guy can rim protect. With him out of there, you're taxing Horford, Tillman, Cornette. You're taxing these guys with more minutes. Hey, get them in foul trouble. Mm-hmm. Go to the cup. Attack. All these dudes are athletic on the Cavs. That's a game plan. If they follow that strategy, I think it could be trouble for the Celtics. Threes are worth more than twos. We know the Celtics want to rain down threes from the heavens.
Right. Math checks out.
There's going to be a couple games where maybe the Celtics don't shoot that well.
Yeah.
I think the Cavs are in every game in this series. I think they steal a couple if they listen to your boy.
Oh, 6.
I'm going 6. I'm going Celtics in 6 here. But they're all tight. Celtics will be tested for once. I think the Cavs have the personnel to make this a problem where the Heat didn't have the personnel.
No, not at all.
They weren't healthy.
They definitely didn't have the scoring.
Even if you had Jimmy, you'd get a couple more competitive games.
Yeah,
but the
not
Heat
as
didn't have the
dynamic.
personnel. Cavs have the personnel if they follow what I'm saying.
With Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, I mean, they have two bigs that can guard in the pick and roll, pretty much switch a ton. Now, Jared Allen coming off of Game 7 where he was a DNP.
He didn't
with
play.
a rib contusion.
He should, but they were saying it's game time decision, could play. So I'm assuming not playing for a few games here now. He should be ready for this series.
I mean, they had to come back and beat the Magic in Game 7,
Right.
so it was a risk. But I think, to me, saying in a Game 7, which it was a tight series and defense mattered, I think Allen's a little more banged up. Maybe he won't be there Game 1. We'll see. But I just think that's how I read that going down. But with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, much more dynamic backcourt than what the Celtics just faced. It was literally Tyler Hero, and that was it. They all had to worry about.
They have the personnel,
and they were able
man.
to target him. But I just think the defenders, especially along the perimeter for the Celtics, I see this one going 5. Just because Donovan Mitchell, I'll credit to him, dropped 50 in Game 6, 39 in Game 7.
Right. He's hot right now, George.
Yeah, averaging 27 points per game in the postseason. Darius Garland coming in with 15 a night. But Donovan Mitchell, everything's inside for him. His three-point shot hasn't been there in these playoffs. Darius Garland, it's been there. But between the two of them, I mean, they're averaging almost 7 turnovers a game. And against the Celtics defense, which likes to reach for them, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, active hands, along with the rest of them, they'll be hunting for that, those extra possessions, those extra opportunities. And without Kristaps Porzingis, it's more of a full court type attack from the Celtics. Get more steals, get more turnovers, get out and running. They can run this Cavs team off the floor. I think this is going 5. While I think the Cavs do have scores, and they have experience. Max Strus, Georges Niang, guys that have been there, especially Strus. He'll have the scouting report on the Celtics, right? He was on the Heat last year. I just this Celtics team compared to this Cavs team, Cleveland just doesn't have the horses. We saw with Miami. The games will be closer, but I still think it goes 5. And it's tough for me to see Cleveland stealing a game. I just think it's going to be Boston giving a game like they did to Miami.
What do you make of my strategy? Is that the right fight plan?
It is, especially if you can challenge Al Horford.
Right.
Tire his old legs, right?
Get him in foul trouble. Both. Hey, Tillman, Cornette, all of them. All the bigs.
Yeah, whoever's in.
Attack.
Yeah.
And this team's athletic enough.
It's a lot of size on that Celtics team to the undersized guards of the Cavs with Garland and Mitchell.
Challenge.
Where at least if it was the Magic are bigger wings.
Yeah.
Can challenge them more inside and can defend them. I'll give the Cavs this, though. I mean, this team all season long was like middle of the pack offensively. They were a top 8, top 7 defensive unit. So a rock fight, they want to get into that. That's the only way they can beat them.
I think they have to play bully ball.
Yeah.
I really do. And that's why I keep going back to who's on your roster. Because the Heat wanted to do that. You said they didn't have. You said the Cavs didn't have the horses. The Heat didn't have the horses either.
He didn't have a single horse.
I believe the Cavs do have the horses to play that style.
Yeah.
The question is, will they? Again, this is a team that chucks a lot of threes, just like every team in the NBA. But unlike a lot of teams in the NBA, they play real defense.
Yeah, they do.
And they have guys who are capable of going to the cup, from the backcourt to the front court. So if I'm Cleveland, I'm coming in. I'm slowing this pace and this tempo down. I want to play a half-court offense. I want a lot of post-ups with my bigs.
Yeah.
See,
compared to the Celtics want to get out and run.
That's right. And the Cavs have an advantage too. Their bigs are guys that can play a post-up game. Right,
Jared Allen's shooting 68% from the floor.
These aren't dudes
Everything around the rim.
that want to. These aren't dudes that want to hang out and camp.
No.
Like a Porzingis and camp by the three-point. Now, that's what they ask of him. Porzingis is able to go in the post. But I'm just saying, that's not the bigs for the Cavs. They're willing to go down there and get dirty. Yeah. They're going to have to do that. If this – look, you could look at the scores here, probably first half. If these are low-scoring first-half games, advantage Cleveland, right? If you get to halftime, even if it's tight, even if it's close, and it's a higher scoring half, that's advantage Celtics because they're playing at the pace. I think the pace is going to dictate this series, George.
Celtics have no problem speeding it up.
Right.
That's going to be a different style that they've been playing. It's a pace, I just think, with the defenses too, and everything we're giving credit towards the Cavaliers.
Yep.
Celtics are top 3. Shoot, the Celtics are number 1.
They're number
Both
1.
ends of the floor.
Yes.
And that's where I just think the only teams I trusted that really gave the Celtics games in the regular season were top 10, both ends of the floor. Now, you could say, all right, the Cavs came back from down how many?
Right.
When Tatum took that awful late-game shot.
Right.
They have the confidence again. And Cleveland's a tougher place to play than Miami, that's for sure.
Oh, of course.
There's a home court. It's just tough for me to see a team that is as turnover-prone.
They are.
And poor at shooting as the Cavs have been in the first round because they just came off playing a really good defensive team in the Magic.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing against the Celtics.
That's right.
Bigger wings are playing. Quicker guards, more athletic, right? To see them all of a sudden find that shot now. And that's why I keep going back to 5 on this. But the Cavs, as is anybody that wants to beat the Celtics, you got to win ugly against them. You're not going to run them off the floor. You can't keep up when they have all those guys that
you got to win.
They got
ugly.
2 guys that could give them 60 any night.
You got to win.
Really
ugly.
70.
Yeah.
But they got 2 guys that are a lock, 50 points a night. Where are they going to get the rest from?
Let's talk about those 2 guys because here's the deal. Against the Heat, and we talked about this, Derek White, MVP of that series, and Jaylen Brown balled out. But this has to be Jason Tatum's series now, I believe. And really probably moving forward. But let's just focus on this one. This is a series where, especially for the sake of this combo, because you agree at least with my fight plan for the Cavs.
Dude,
so let's say they're executing.
He was not good from 3
That's what I'm
in
saying.
that first round. Tatum.
Let's say the Cavs are executing this game plan we're talking about. They're attacking the cup. They're playing bully ball. They're throwing bows. They're putting bodies on people. I mean, you need Jason Tatum to sort of calm everything down. Hey, give me the ball. I got us. Get on my back. This is my series. You need that now. You need to establish that now. I'm not taking any shots here because I appreciate what they did against the Heat. I appreciate it was Derek White's series. I appreciate Jaylen Brown did his thing. I appreciate all these guys in double figures. We know because of these blowouts, bench dudes were getting big minutes here, George. So you saw a ton of Celtics in double figures at the end of the game. No more of that nonsense for this. I'm not saying guys can't play. I'm not saying depth isn't important. All that's great. But now I need Jason Tatum to go get buckets all series long. He has to be the X factor. We cannot look back on this series either if the Celtics lose or it goes 7 and they get by the hair of their chinny chin chin. We can't look back on this series and say, boy, Donovan Mitchell really took over this series. Celtics were lucky to win. No. We need to – because we know he's bringing his A game. You just gave the numbers. Donovan Mitchell's balling. You must look back on this series, whether it's 5, 6, 7, whatever it takes, and say, Jason Tatum has entered the chat, right? This needs to be his series. You agree with that? Now, I know you were talking about both guys,
it has to
him
be his
and
playoff
Brown,
run to me.
but it has to be his time in this series now, in my opinion. He's got to be the X factor.
This is a Celtics team that seems comfortable with Tatum being the playmaker and Brown being scorer, though. And if that's your recipe to get to the finals, I'm fine. How do you look when KP comes back into the fold? That's what I'm wondering.
Sure.
But to get to the point of Tatum, I mean, you need better than 29% from three.
Yeah.
He needs that shot to fall, and that opens everything up, and that will unlock the offense. Brown's been great. Derek White's been phenomenal. Drew Holiday, he doesn't have to shoot. He's not asked to shoot a ton or score a ton. He's going to turn it on.
Great defense against the Heat.
No, he did for sure, and he'll do the same thing this time. To me, no matter what, this game, this run will come down to late game buckets.
Yes.
And a team coming off a series where nothing was close.
Yes.
Tatum, if he's in a tight game, he needs to start. And it comes down to Missoula, too. Draw up the good looks. Get them easy looks. Get him a good look. At least drive to the bucket. If his three-point shot's not there, go be physical. And the same thing to you, as you said. Go attack a Jarrett Allen. Go attack an Evan Mobley.
I would love to see that.
Don't settle. Just he can't.
I think he settled against the Heat. But here's one thing I'll say. That's an advantage for the Celtics, big time. Remember, deep in these playoff runs, even going back to the finals against the Warriors, what was the knock? Oh, well, Tatum and Brown are doing everything. They're playing all the minutes, right? Tatum looks tired. He looks exhausted. There's nothing left in his tank. Not the issue this time around. I mean, hell, the Heat series, you just said it. Tatum was pretty much a facilitator, basically. Everyone else balled out.
Yeah.
Tatum, I mean, at the end of these games, I thought he should have been out sooner, but that's another topic for another day.
Still played 38 minutes a night.
Right. But it wasn't the same grueling grind as carrying his team.
No.
So he's fresh right now, for sure. Let's see him against a really good defensive team in the Cavs who have a lot of big bodies to throw. Let's see him get some work now. I don't want him worn out for the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals, but he is fresh as hell after one round. So let's get him some work.
Rested.
Right.
Closed him
That's
out
what I'm
in
saying.
5.
Healthy, rested. Okay, let's go.
And if you get him out to have him run the Cavs off the floor in the first game or two, then that gets it working on, get his confidence up. And if the three-point shot wakes up from that point on, then I'm all for it. This is, if anything, this is another, again, like the Cavs aren't in the stratosphere of the Celtics.
No, they shouldn't be.
So for Joe Mazzulla, hey, it's an extension of the regular season. Let's go out, play with our food a little bit. Tatum, go attack. I want that dog to come out. Can you find it? And can you find that shot now? You'll need it, ECF and finals.
Last word on this. If we're both wrong and this goes 7.
Does Kristaps Porzingis come back?
Do you roll the dice? Hey, it's a little early. He could use another 3, 4, 5 days, but it's game 7. Get out there. We're going to risk it. No risk it, no biscuit. Or do you say, we got to win this without him. We need him for the Eastern Conference Finals. We're not taking the shot in a game 7. Hypothetically. Because neither one of us, for the record, thinks this is going 7. If it does, do you roll the dice on playing the unicorn?
It's something. It's not nothing. So it will take a little bit of time for sure. You know me. Every quote that comes out of Porzingis, I have to read every single word.
What does that mean?
I'm doing everything I can to speed up because I want to be back out there as soon as possible. The worst thing would be probably to re-aggravate that. So I'm being smart. No specific date. It's still pretty early. I think it will be clear once I start doing more stuff. Not super close yet, but expecting to recover at a historic rate. See, and you say this to me. It's that last one. But I'm expecting to recover at a historic rate. Kristaps, you haven't been healthy your whole season.
Your whole life.
And one of the most dangerous injuries for any athlete in any sport.
Yeah.
You're just going to have a historic recovery timeline? I say no.
Okay.
Because you bring them back game 7. It's big picture with this team.
Yeah.
You have the 2 guys that can win that for you. You have the guy you're paying $60 million. You look at 0 and 7. You go, you're doing this for us. He's not ready yet. He's not coming through that door.
Yeah.
You got to go out and take out the Cavs yourself. Tatum and Brown are too good, and there's too much on the line this season that you're going to speed Kristaps Porzingis back against the Cavaliers. That shouldn't even be a thought. I'm looking at Kristaps. I go, you're sitting your ass down. Keep recovering at your historic rate. J&J, you guys got this. That's how it'd go. There's no way. I would not bring him back. I would be pissed off if I had to bring him out. Wake up, Frankenstein. No way. Tatum and Brown are too talented and too well paid.
I'm not going to lie, George. Game 7, I want everybody.
You found it in me.
I want everyone out there. I want you out there taking charges, my friend.
This was civil.
Hey, for all of our best content of the day, make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. For another Boston has entered the chat, Travis Thomas, George Balekji. Peace.
Later.